Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Geraldine. You can call me Gigi. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe down below and like this video for more videos like this. If you don't already know, I am in an age gap relationship and I have a beautiful doting daughter. And so in my channel, you will find a lot of sitting down chats about relationships, the wonders of relationship. I like to talk a lot about age gap stories, good stories, bad stories, deceiving stories, and I share a lot about my life, about my daughter, my experiences as a mom. I have only one child. Looks like my husband is calling me, so we're gonna have to pause. I'll get back to you. Sorry, I had to pick up that phone call. But anyways, today's story is a tale of love, betrayal, and some lengths some people will go to for personal gain. I came across this story on Facebook and I was like, wow. I didn't really read the entire story because it was just a picture showing a man sitting next to a woman, and the story was claiming that the wife tried to divorce the guy, and then she realized that the guy had already divorced her a few months or maybe a month after they got married. She was unaware of it, and years later, after they had already been married for years and they already had a son, she went for a divorce, and she realized she couldn't really divorce because it was already done. And I also saw a similar story, and that from a woman on TikTok discussing this type of divorce that used to be legal, maybe still legal today in Haiti, where these people will travel to countries like Dominican Republic and have a divorce. It didn't require to have the other partner present, and the divorce was still legal and went through. And so when these women realized that, hey, things are not going as I had hoped it would go, they would go for a divorce and realize, oh, the man had already divorced me. So this is a story of Christina Villa. I actually found the story on New York Post because, like I said, the one on Facebook was just a picture with a huge blurb, and I was just like, wow. I went to Google the story. It looks like this happened years back, maybe 2016. We are in 2024, so I'm kind of late with the story, but I still wanted to chime in a little bit, maybe tell you the story, read you the story, and kind of like give my own opinion about the story. So let's go. So Christina thought that she found her soulmate. Even though her soulmate, I believe, was like 30 years her senior, she really thought that she found her soulmate. They built a life together. They even had a son, and they were married for years. This was not like, okay, we get married and then a divorce happens, which kind of like happens a lot in age gap relationships, because most women want to take advantage of their partners and take advantage of the law and loopholes that exist and kind of like get the most money out of their partner and divorce them. Yeah, so Christina was married for years. They even had a son together. They were building their lives. I believe she was 59 when she went to file for divorce. Unbeknownst to Christina, though, 4 months after their wedding, Gabrielle already filed for divorce 4 months after the wedding in the Dominican Republic. Poor soul. So without Christina's knowledge or consent, Gabrielle did that, and Gabrielle filed for divorce, and Christina's claiming, hey, it's a fraud. You cannot just go and divorce someone in a different country without that person's consent or knowledge that it's happening. At least let me know. But why did Gabrielle do this? What happened? That's the question. The simple answer is that Gabrielle was like, this is a beautiful lady, a young lady who is many years my junior. And I know this is probably a money situation. It has to do with money. She wants to take advantage of me. So I am going to file for divorce to protect my asset if she decides that she no longer wants me. So that was Gabrielle's train of thoughts. I need to protect my assets. So when Gabriel was filing for divorce in the Dominican Republic, he had to give a reason. So what was the reason? He said that it was incompatible temperaments. They could not live together. That was the reason that Gabriel gave. So by giving this as a reason, incompatibility temperament to the Dominican authorities, the divorce just happened. But the thing is, they didn't even live in the Dominican Republic. They're not even from, no, I'm not sure if they're from the Dominican Republic, but they didn't live in the Dominican Republic. But you know, when people own assets, they don't just own it in one country. And I don't know how this guy divided his assets and how he was protecting his assets, but he definitely knew that he could divorce Christina in the Dominican Republic and cite this as a reason, and it's a valid enough reason to be granted the divorce. So what happened? Why was Christina so concerned? Why was she filing for divorce? So Christina filed because the pot really thickened. It thickened. Things were boiling up. She started feeling uneasy, feeling like something was happening. She discovered that Gabrielle removed her name from their Manhattan's apartment deed. She's like, okay, what is going on here? Why is this guy doing all of this thing? So she started kind of like finding out small problems like that. She's like, okay, there is a bigger play here. So unbearable marriage, incompatibility temperaments, and then the name removed from the deed. So Gabrielle tried to use the divorce paper from the Dominican Republic to prove that Christina was not the owner of the Manhattan property. Gabriel, keep in mind, Gabriel was a lawyer. So he had made quite a few money being a lawyer and wanted to protect himself and his assets. I'm not too sure if he already had other kids, but we'll get to that because I am unpacking this story for myself as I am telling you the story. So Christina said that she had no recollection of giving Gabrielle consent for divorce. She said she was either impaired, drugged, or forced to do that, which is also illegal. You cannot force anyone to sign a legal document. You cannot drug them, you cannot coerce them, you cannot do any of that. She said, I have no recollection. I have no recollection of doing that. So it is illegal. He's fraudulent. He did this on his own to get me out of the marriage so that he would keep everything. Another funny thing is because they didn't get married in the Dominican Republic, the marriage was not even legal in the Dominican Republic. So it kind of like leaves me to wonder what happened. Like, why did they grant this? And why was Gabrielle trying to use this to get Christina out of the deed and said. So Christina said that Gabrielle was using an illegal and fraudulent divorce paper from the Dominican Republic to embarrass her, to rob her. He believed that Gabrielle's greed was driving him and driving this deception. He just feels that there was a greed behind this action. But there's still a question though. What does Gabrielle stand to gain in this situation? So in this situation, Christina suspected that Gabrielle wanted to sell his apartment to their daughter. Daughter's name is Marina, who lived in Rome, to sell it to her which is kind of like not selling, but kind of like handing it off to her, but wanted to do it in a legal way so that he would defraud. Christina wouldn't know. Why did you even get married? Why did you get married? It just bothers me a lot. If you really want to protect your asset, you need to do it before marriage. You need to be open about it, right? Like, you need to have a prenup. There is something called prenup, and you need to make sure that you are speaking with a financial advisor who can advise you on the steps in which to take to be able to protect your assets, so that your asset will stay with you or your kids in case there is a divorce, in case this was not a love marriage, however, kind of like a fraudulent marriage to rob you off of your assets. But all in all, I just look at this story and look at it as one super heartbreaking story that started off very beautifully. Love, two people who love each other, got married, even had a son, and now you are discovering that your partner divorced you in a different country and is using that document to say that you don't own the apartment, to get you out of that apartment. And at 59, Christina's thinking, I'm doomed. If she was like someone who did not have her own activities on the side, who was mostly married to this guy, did not have money of her own, then she's doomed basically. So she needs to fight with everything in her to make sure that she gets a resolution, that she does not end up on the streets at 59. What are you going to do? What kind of job are you going to find that is going to help you survive or help you have a dignified life as an old woman? I don't know. But this story to me serves as a lesson that trust can be fragile. Trust is something that you never want to lose. And when you're trusting someone, I don't know, should you have a room for, okay, what ifs? Because Gabrielle did not have any trust to do this after 4 months of marriage. What had happened? What led him to say, okay, maybe I didn't think straight, maybe I did not protect myself well? What made him retract his steps? Because he didn't trust his wife. That's why he went and did that. Christina decided to trust this man and knew that they were married and they were happily married, only to discover that no, that was not the case, because he did not trust you and went behind your back to do what he did and deemed to be a safety measure for his assets. So trust is fragile. So it's, yeah, anyone can say, yeah, I trust you, I love you, I will never do this to you. I know how hard you worked before we met. I know that you own this is yours, this is mine. But if you don't have any legal document that will document what you brought to the plate and how you are planning on dividing those assets, if something happens, then you're doomed. When you have a disagreement, you just don't know, because betrayal can be there, can be lurking, and you don't see it. You don't see that it's coming, right? We all trust the people around us and trust that they will never do certain things until they do it, and you're like, oh, I'm heartbroken. Betrayal can lurk where you least expect it, and then when it's just there, you're like, how was I so stupid? How was I not able to see that this was coming? Has it ever happened to at least one of us in a room of 5 people? Yes, it has happened. And you're always like, I don't know how I didn't see it coming, because you have trust, because you trusted that person and never saw that something like that could happen to you. I'm gonna link the story down below. It's from New York Post. It's a sad story. It's a tale of love, betrayal. All in all, I know that when you love, you truly love, you put yourself in a very loving situation. Sometimes the problems could be in front of you, but you just choose not to see it because your trust is so big. But we also don't know what happened behind doors. Was it a love that lacked trust? That was cheatings involved? Did Gabriel feel that his age was going to be a catalyst? Was it going to hinder him from protecting himself in the future? You know, when this happened, he was in his 90s, she was in almost 60, 59. So, you know, when people get older, I'm pretty sure her daughter was around the same age as Christina. So it's like, no, I didn't protect myself. Like, but you also had a son with this woman. You know, it's just a complicated story, in my opinion. It's not an easy story. I feel very bad for these people, and I really hope that it ended up for the best for the both of them. So thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video, share if you want to share. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by at House of Gigi. We will meet again, okay? Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.